When I decided that I was going to run for office, I had several people who told me that I might want to reconsider a different seat, quote unquote lesser seat, build my way up. I had people who told me that I was going to probably have to raise $1 million. I had people who told me that there wasn't a hope in hell, especially with the person whose seat I was trying to replace, whose seat I was going for. Will not say that individual's name. Again, nothing was going to tell me no. I was gonna do this no matter what. And so that's a huge reason why I felt I had to suffer in silence, and I felt like I had to see this through, right? Because so many people had tried to talk me out of it, and yeah. I've also blocked a lot of what's been going on because this was such a horrible, horrible time in my life. I'm sorry, I think that's just what it is. But this next story that I'm going to tell is one that I have not blocked out. It just gives you a tiny, tiny little taste of the stresses that were going on aside from my relationship, and but that absolutely contributed to its demise. So I want to begin by saying that many people don't realize that when you're running for office, your campaign donations, you can't use those donations for everyday life. So in other words, you already have to have a way to pay for your car, your mortgage, etc., because everything that you raise through donations can only be used for campaign-related expenses. Second, number two, I don't know if this is only for federal seats, but the campaign finance laws said that you could actually draw a salary from your donations after November before the primary. So I don't know if it's always November. I don't know if it's always for like 3 or 4 months before the primary, but I will come back to that a little bit later. Not concerning my campaign. Again, I'm getting ahead of myself. But in other words, it is very, very, very hard for people who are not independently wealthy to run for office in the United States of America, okay? And the expenses don't stop. And not even the most stressful, but one of the most stressful things is that when I was running my business, I'm a solopreneur. If I have to do it that's one thing, but it's a whole different ballgame when you have a staff of people who are depending on you, right? So again, hemorrhaging money. I don't quite remember when this story took place, but it was somewhere in the May-June time. May have even been the end of April. But I started doing DoorDash in the evenings to raise more money, right? Because I can only do call time during the day. So the evenings, I started doing DoorDash. Mind you, I don't have a vehicle. So I would rent a vehicle. Don't diss my logic, okay? I've learned a lot throughout all of this. But desperation breeds insanity, practically, if you can say that. So anyway, so I found a vehicle on Turo, the car sharing platform in San Jose, which is actually quite far from San Francisco, about 40 miles. And some of you think, oh, that's not far. It is. For the Bay Area, where, especially in San Francisco proper, it is very common to not have a vehicle. I've said that earlier. So again, some people, they're not close. They're not close. They're far. It's about an hour drive. So anyway, again, it's like literally the last BART stop. So go pick up the vehicle, do some orders, stay up late doing some orders. Next morning, I go out to check the car and I realize I have a ticket. Yay, right? Always fun to get a ticket on a rental car that's not yours. Hop in the car to move it, and I realize that the cart is driving weirdly. Pull over in the Tenderloin, which if you know anything about San Francisco, not the best neighborhood. So that's when I realized that I had a flat. no problem. I know how to change tires. So I hop out, change the tire right there on the corner in the Tenderloin, put the spare on, voila. Now, this is another part where I screwed up. I guess you're not supposed to drive on the spare. I thought you could drive like, I don't know, literally somebody told me that you could drive 100 miles on the spare. And I know that some of you are laughing. Listen, I don't know a damn thing about cars. I really don't. Why do you think I rent a car? Like, I got rid of my car after I moved back to San Francisco in 2019. At the beginning of 2019, I did not have a car here for very long. So, change the tire, do some more deliveries on the spare, and that's when, I don't remember if the spare popped or if something happened to where the tire was like not usable. But I remember barely making it to the outer Sunset, which if you're from San Francisco, it's way, way, way out there. We call it basically you're in the ocean. And the car was like not really drivable. But I was able to pull over, get safely into a parking spot. I might be in the farthest corner of San Francisco, but it's fine, I'm safe. This is about 4 or 5 p.m. Mind you, I should have and I could have still been at my office on a Friday evening, afternoon, doing call time, making phone calls to raise money. But I digress. So I call AAA. They say, hey, it's a Friday night. The tow truck drivers are really busy. It's going to be about 2 or 3 hours. I don't have a choice. So I'm like, okay, I'll wait. 2 or 3 hours go by. And I realized that it's not going to happen. And when did I finally get a call from I think I got a call from the tow truck driver. He finally called me like at midnight. And by that time I was like already home. I had left the car there. I was like, I'll just wait till the next day. Okay. Next morning, I meet the tow truck driver, tows the car to the shop. So I replace the tire. I do some more deliveries, and then that brings us now to, so Saturday I'm able to get the tire changed. Sunday is when I have to return the car, Sunday afternoon. So I don't know why I thought that I had my sweet time to drive over to San Jose, get to this guy's place, drop the car off, leave the keys in the lockbox, and then walk back to BART. But somehow, somewhere along the walk back to BART, I realized it hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, oh shit, it's Sunday. BART doesn't run until midnight. BART stops running in 5 minutes. There's no way that I'm gonna make it to the station. And here I am stranded, wearing shorts and chanclas. I think I had a hoodie with me, and I literally spent all my money on that damn tire. Like broke even with the stupid DoorDash that, again, I had to wait to get anyway, and I'm stranded in fucking San Jose. So I called Peter. Peter rescued me. He never even told me how much the Uber cost. All he said was, you'll be here shortly. Don't worry about it. And I went to his house and I spent the night there. And yeah, that's just a tiny little taste of some of the stress. And also, I think you can also see how, like, at times this campaign would like tear us apart, and then at other times it like brought us closer together, weirdly. Or so I thought. I'm so grateful for him that evening, in that moment, because had it not been for him, I would have been stranded in San Jose. And I will talk more about that and expand more on that a little bit later, because as much as I don't want to talk about the toll it took on my family, it did, and my friends, but I'm getting ahead of myself.